Hey guys, it's Ms.Hailey here. I hope you guys are all staying healthy and safe. Today I'll be reading a story from the 5-Minute Palace Pet Stories. This one is called A Prancing Puppy for Cinderella. Pumpkin was a small, lively puppy who loved chasing butterflies and rolling in soft green grass. But Pumpkin's favorite pastime was dancing. Pumpkin could whirl and twirl and sway and swirl, dip and dance the night away. It was her great wish to attend a royal ball where she could waltz and sashay to the melodies of a master orchestra. One day, the prince arrived to pick out a puppy for Cinderella as an anniversary present, but he wasn't looking for just any puppy. No, the prince was looking for a puppy as sweet and as special as Cinderella. Pumpkin knew that this was her chance to make her dream come true. Without wasting a minute, Pumpkin stood up on her hind legs and began to dance for the prince. She hopped there and she pranced there and she twirled just about everywhere. The prince knew he had found the perfect anniversary gift for Cinderella. The princess would love a puppy with such pizzazz, and he was happy to give the little white puppy a good home. The prince took Pumpkin back to the palace. He gave her a sparkly collar and a tiara. Then he gently placed her in a basket with a velvety soft pillow out on the balcony. The prince thought Pumpkin would make a perfect surprise for the princess at the anniversary ball later that night. Pumpkin could hardly wait. She was finally going to attend a royal ball. Pumpkin stretched as everyone busted and bothered around her getting ready for the ball. Musicians warmed up their instruments, cooks prepared a delicious feast, and servants busily hung the last of the decorations. Before long, it was time for the ball to begin. Meanwhile, Cinderella was thinking about how happy she was and how much she had to be thankful for. Exactly 1 year earlier, Cinderella's fairy godmother and animal friends had helped her make her dreams come true. The princess couldn't wait to celebrate her anniversary with the prince at the ball that evening. Soon the music swelled to start and filled the grand ballroom. Cinderella was ready to dance. When at last the prince and princess were alone on the dance floor, the prince told Cinderella how much he loved her. Then he asked her for a special dance beneath the stars. He was ready to surprise her with the sweet prancing puppy. Cinderella and the prince stepped out onto the balcony, and all was nearly perfect. The stars were shining, the moon was bright, and the music drifted through the night sky, but Pumpkin was nowhere to be seen. The prince wondered where the pup had run on to. Thankfully, the surprise had not been spoiled. Pumpkin was simply been so eager to enjoy the ball that she hadn't been able to sit still for 1 second longer. The prince and princess soon spotted their missing pup on the other side of the balcony, dipping and dancing, hopping and prancing along to the music. Cinderella had always wanted a puppy, and she was touched by the prince's thoughtful anniversary gift. However, the princess was even more surprised by how talented her new pup was. She admired Pumpkin's graceful twirls and quickly joined in on the fun. When the final song came to a close, Cinderella lifted Pumpkin and snuggled the pup into her arms. Pumpkin had danced at the royal ball, and her dream had become a reality. But Pumpkin realized that an even greater wish had come true that night, for she now had a home with Cinderella and the prince. Cinderella and the pumpkin had been inseparable ever since. The princess delights in having a prancing puppy for her very own, and Pumpkin is so happy to be a part of the loving family. The two new friends dance together every day and enjoy one another's company in a while with the music. The garden party. It was a warm and wonderful day in Cinderella's garden. The birds chirping in the trees, the bees buzzing along the flowers, and the princess's sweet puppy was practicing her pirouettes. Pumpkin was happy to be outside, sashaying in the sunshine, but she was soon distracted from her dance when she happened upon a plaything. Pumpkin inspected the toy with care. She sniffed it, unsure what it could be, but when she got close, the plaything scooted away from her. She sneaks up on it again, and it failed once more. Was it a snake? The puppy followed a long blue something as it streaked through the garden until she was nose to nose with a mouse. But this wasn't just any mouse, it was Cinderella's friend Gus. And the plaything was a long paper streamer. Gus was startled by the puppy at first, but then he realized it was his old pal Pumpkin. He was delighted. With a skip and a scurry, Gus took off running through the grass, trailing the paper streamer behind him for Pumpkin to chase. The two friends bounded through beignets, flashed through daisies, and ran through roses. They dipped under daffodils, leaped over lilies, and pranced through peonies. The garden was the perfect playground. Pumpkin and Gus soon tumbled into a clearing. There, the puppy quickly learned that there was going to be a garden party that evening. Gus's fellow mouse, Jack, was in charge of the decorations, and Bibbidi, Cinderella's pony, was lending a helpful hoof. "I love parties," Pumpkin explained. "Can I help?" Jack wasn't sure how much help Pumpkin would be. "All right," he finally agreed, "but everything needs to be perfect." Poor Jack was right. Pumpkin was not much of a help at all. In fact, she actually caused quite a bit of trouble. The puppy tried to help trim the trees with long paper streamers, but she found it was much more fun to twirl on them instead. As Pumpkin twirled, Gus, Jack, and Bibbidi decorated the garden with care. When it was time to hang the lights, Pumpkin was far too tangled in to help. "Look at me, I'm just like a tree," Pumpkin called as her friends delicately hung the twinkling lights. Jack thought the pumpkin could at least help them polish the dance floor. Her 4 paws were always moving, so they might as well be polishing. The little puppy had another idea. "Why polish when you can slide?" Pumpkin shouted. But the real trouble started when Jack asked Pumpkin to help him set the table. The little puppy just couldn't focus on forks and spoons when there was a big, beautiful cupcake nearby. Pumpkin loved cupcakes. She decided it would be more helpful of her to sample one of them to make sure they were tasty. Gus decided he would sample one as well. Sure enough, sampling turned into devouring, and soon Pumpkin and Gus had eaten every single last cupcake. "Those were for the party," Jack cried. "You are no help at all, Pumpkin." The little puppy felt so bad that she had eaten the cupcakes. As she looked across the garden, she saw the streamers and lights hung with care and perfectly polished dance floor. Her friends had worked so hard, and she had been nothing but trouble. "I'm sorry," said Pumpkin. Fortunately, there has been others helping prepare for the party. Someone had even brought a cake to replace the missing cupcakes. There was no need for Jack to worry. Everything was perfect, just as he hoped. That is, until the music started. The dance floor was empty. Pumpkin knew just how she could help. This might not be good at hanging lights or streamers, polishing floors, or setting tables, but Pumpkin knew how to dance. The little puppy rushed to the empty dance floor and immediately began to whirl and twirl. She pranced and danced and performed pretty pirouettes to the beat of the music. The party guests couldn't help but to join Pumpkin. And neither could Cinderella. Jack was relieved. Pumpkin had saved the day after all. The garden party was a huge success, and the 4 friends celebrated their hard work by dancing the night away under the stars with their favorite princess. Okay, that's all it for today, guys. Next week I'll be reading The Berry, and I hope you have a good rest of your week. Stay safe and stay healthy. Bye, guys.